everyone, it's Linda Hayes coming to you from beautiful Ambergris Caye, Belize. I'm going to do a COVID-19 update in this video. So even though I've been here almost a year, I'm still sometimes surprised by how hard it is to find information. So today I decided to get my booster vaccination for COVID because it's been 6 months since my second shot. And when I went to go find the information on where and when to do it, it was a little hard, although I was able to find it on Facebook. After I got the shot and posted it on my profile, people were asking me questions right away on how to find where to do it. So I decided to do a video on this. So I'm going to talk about how you can get a vaccination if you want to, not giving any opinions on whether you should or shouldn't. Think that's choice for everyone to make on their own. But if you do want to do it, this is how you can do it. Also talk about where you can go to get tested. I'm going to give an example of traveling to Canada because I do have a friend that was visiting that just went back last week. And I'm also going to give an update on how COVID is going here. So if you do want to get vaccinated, whether it's your first, second shot, or a booster shot, here are the different locations in the country where you can do so. I'm not going to go through all of them, but depending where you are, you can go ahead and look at the times here. In San Pedro, I went this afternoon because the times were 1:30 to 3 p.m. and it's at the Lion's Den here. And I know for sure that those times are Monday to Thursday. On the Facebook post that I had seen before, I think Fridays was in the morning, but definitely you can go in the afternoon, Monday to Thursday. So in terms of my booster vaccination, I didn't actually book an appointment to get that shot. I just went to the Lion's Den. I went there about 1:45 this afternoon, which is Thursday, and there was only a few people in the building ahead of us in line. So if you are going to get your vaccination, make sure you bring your passport with you because that's quite important. And if you've already had some of your shots, your first and second, make sure you bring your vaccination card with you. So in terms of other news articles, active COVID-19 cases in Belize are below 600 now. So December 15th, there was 25 new cases and 103 recoveries in the country. San Pedro had 7 new cases. And in terms of hospitalizations, currently there's 12 people hospitalized in the country, which are all unvaccinated. So one other kind of exciting update is that the Belize land orders are going to reopen on New Year's Day. So there was already one border that was open, but more are joining, and it might have requirements for vaccination and testing on arrival. That hasn't been announced yet, but it's just something good to know that you will be able to go across a lot of land borders. So now I'm going to talk about COVID testing in San Pedro. So I already talked about the Caring Hands Clinic for travel in a previous video. So it's $75 if you want a rapid test, which you need to go back into the US. It's $200 if you need a PCR test for Canada. And there's free testing as well if you were near someone with COVID but you don't have symptoms but you can't use this for travel. You also could get this test if you need to go into a government building and you're unvaccinated. So this testing is located at Central Park in San Pedro, right near the church. It's a little booth set up by the food stands where you can get the test within 20 minutes. So testing here is really quick. I mean, even a PCR test, it only takes about an hour to get your results. So that's fantastic in comparison to other places. So next I'm just going to cover the traveling process back to Canada. My friend Jay went back home last week, and of course the travel rules changed a little bit in terms of getting a test when you arrive back in Canada. That was the addition that they did. So in terms of the Arrive Canada app, that's another thing you need to do. So you would need to upload your PCR test that you got, as well as fill out some other information on your trip back to Canada. Now, the thing that we were a bit concerned about is when you're arriving into Canada in Toronto, which is where the WestJet flights are going into right now, you would get your test there. How does it work if you don't have your result in terms of getting onto your connector flight? So at the time Jay took his flight, they weren't testing every passenger just due to capacity, so he wasn't tested, but there was another passenger that was. And she got the test, obviously didn't have the results yet, but was still able to take her connector flight. So that's something, in case you were curious, that actually didn't work too poorly. So of course the government isn't recommending traveling at this point. However, lots of people are doing it safely, and I mean, if you're coming to Belize, you get away from the snow if you're in Canada, so certainly I love being here right now when I keep hearing about all the snow in Edmonton, and I look outside, and I mean, today we did have rain, but yesterday it was a nice sunny day at about 29 degrees Celsius, which is much better than the huge cold, snowy days that they're having over there. So I included a picture of one of the last dinners we had with my friend Jay when he was still in town. One of the good things about being in Belize is that pretty much everywhere you go for dinner, you're sitting outside, which obviously is really nice and obviously a lot safer than being cooped up in a restaurant. So if you are coming to Belize, it would be great to meet you, and we'll see you in the next video.